Good morning from Bali. My name is Melanie. This is a morning flow, super, super slow. You can do it in the morning or you can do it midday. Basically, we'll be kind of on the ground the majority of the time. First thing we'll start off with is a meditation. So if you have a bolster or a pillow or anything you want to prop up your hips, you're welcome to. Otherwise, you can just sit comfortably on the ground. And if you're having a hard time sitting up, you can even make your way to a wall so you can kind of recline into the wall. And then once you find that comfortable seat, one foot in front of the other. And then first bit is try to get the spine in line with the hips and the shoulders slightly retracted. Tall head and spine. Imagine somebody's pulling your spine towards the ceiling. And then from here, you can either keep the eyes open or close the eyes. If you do keep the eyes open, allow for the gaze to be low, sort of like consistently gazing at a point. I'm fighting the rooster. It's this early in the morning. And then from here, if your eyes are open or closed, then become aware of your body, feeling the ground underneath you, your feet meeting the ground, your knees meeting the ground, your sit bones, and kind of like that connection. And if your sit bones are even from side to side. And then without changing anything at all, become the observer of your breath and your body and essentially all of yourself in this moment. Watch the breath, the quality of the breath. And as you breathe and as you feel into the body, take note of any areas that are particularly tighter than others. This may be somewhere where you have injuries or somewhere that it's just tighter. For me, I can feel it in my upper back, kind of in between the shoulder blades. And then from here, bring the breath now. Begin to direct the breath a little bit more just through the nose. And breathe in that area where you feel the most tension. If it's in your chest, go in your chest, really wherever that is for you. And every time you exhale, softly exhale out. Let the exhale be slightly longer than the inhale. Again, breathe into the point of tension. Long exhale out of the nose. Last breath in like that. And let it go. Now we're going to move towards a soft breath hold. So again, breathe into that point of tension. And hold the breath there. And imagine that tension point just melting away like ice cube or like ice cream on a hot summer day. And if you notice like additional tension, then try to soften it. And this usually just means us talking to ourselves. Like, okay, you're good, we're here, I'm choosing to be here. And this self-talk is really what allows us to move through points of tension. Whether that is in this moment or in life or whenever we're met with a conflict, really. And then add a little bit more breath in. Bring it opposite to where that tension point is. And then a little bit more air in. Even let the shoulders rise up towards the ears now. And then you're going to open the mouth, exhale, let it go. Then shoulders up towards the ears, inhale. Exhale, let it go. And almost let the shoulders drop down, like if you were in an elevator or like if you're at the amusement park, I should say, and it's dropping down super quickly. Breathe in, fully let it go. Okay. Now from here, you can start the first bit of the class, or the follow along class, I should say, with the eyes closed. You can open the eyes. If you're facing forward towards the camera, then you can rotate so that you're facing the front edge of the mat. We're allowing a little bit of arch and rounding. I like to start this one always after some meditation or a little bit of breathing. Move through your upper thoracic. You want to include the breath. You can inhale, arch the spine, and then exhale, round the spine. Inhale, arch the spine. You can lift the chin up. Exhale, round. Last one like this. One round. Good. Extend both legs straight. And then you'll bend the right knee so that the right foot can be on the outside of the left knee. If this is still too uncomfortable for you, you can prop up your glutes. Otherwise, if you feel comfortable here, you can go ahead and bend the left knee so that the left heel is by your glutes. Lift the left arm up, inhale, and then stay here as you exhale. Push into that backhand. And every time you inhale, try to lengthen up as much as you can. Keep anchoring that left knee down. Then exhale, you might go down onto the elbow and then lift up. And then exhale, stay here. And reach out up the shoulders as though you're trying to do a handstand and there's something above head that you want to reach for. And then try to keep this extension. Come on up. Inhale. Exhale, left elbow on the outside of the right knee. You can place the hands together or keep that other hand behind you. And use the inhale to find length through the upper spine. Exhale, spin, rotate. Look towards the back. Inhale helps you expand and extend. And the exhale, you rotate, go in a little bit more. Last breath here. Good, and come on back to neutral. Extend both legs. There's somebody playing very loud music, even though I think it's like not even 7 a.m. It must be a construction site. Bend the left foot on the outside of the right knee. Again, stay here, or go ahead and bend that right knee. Left hand behind, right arm up overhead. Inhale and exhale. Try to get yourself away from that hip. And then breathe in. Maybe make your way to your left elbow. Anchor the legs into the floor as you exhale. I'm going to keep reaching up overhead. Inhale, breath. Stay here, exhale. One up. Now, right elbow on the outside of the left knee. Breathe upwards to the top of the head, long spine. Exhale, spin, look towards the back of the mat. Again, breathe in. Physically feel the spine lengthen upwards. And then exhale. Use the tension of the elbow against the knee to rotate. Last one. Good. And then come on forward. The next one, you'll have the hands behind you. And then you'll use your feet to move the pelvis further away. And you're going to keep moving your pelvis more forward until you feel a stretch in the front. Where kind of like the delts are. You might even feel a little bit the insertion of the bicep. And from here, keep tilting your scapula anteriorly, so forward, not retracted. And then stay here. Try to breathe up into the chest now. More breath. Last one. Good. You kind of have to shimmy yourself all the way forward again. And then we'll do the opposite. Come back to that seating position. One foot in front of the other. Then interlace your right arm underneath the left. If you can wrap your hands, even better. Now from here, try to round your upper spine, kind of like poofing your scapula. And then breathe in. And then as you exhale, lift the arms up a little bit more. Keep the protraction, now lengthening the scap. Breathe in again. Lift up a little bit more. Last one. Good. Oof, that feels good. Left side. Wrap the arms. If not, you can just try to have the elbows. Protract. Poof the upper back. Inhale, breath. More tension. Try to reach away and up a little bit more. And then breathe in that back area where you feel the tightness. Last one. Good, and release. Okay, now let's get into the neck and upper traps. Interlace the hand behind the head. Good. And then bring your pull your chin into your chest, and then slightly let the hands rest onto the back of the head. So you're not pulling the neck down, you're more just allowing for a little bit more of that weight to pull the chin into the chest. And then from here, all you'll do is rotate the chin side to side. And come back to neutral. A little bit more activation. Push the back of your head into your hands and your hands into the back of the head. And you might notice kind of like smaller muscle groups begin to activate at the back of the head. That's what I'm trying to do. Often we're constantly in this position, but in a relaxed, we're looking down in our keyboard or our phones or whatnot. And then from here, rotate your chin to the right and then keep it there with the same amount of like pushing up into the hands. And physically feel the shifts in your neck, the muscles activating. Maybe you can feel a little bit of tiredness. Back to neutral and then other side. Good, back to neutral. And release. Okay, and lift the chin up into extension now. And when you're here, try not to crunch the back. Think about like really lifting the chin up. And you might even retract your scapula, get the upper thoracic on board. And every time you breathe, breathe up into the chest and really close your mouth and push the tongue to the roof of the mouth. 2 more breaths with that. Good. Come back to neutral. Okay, let's move on to lower body. Now allow for the feet to meet into butterfly. This is probably one of my favorite poses. So first bit, what you're going to do is fold forward. If you have the flexibility, if not, you can be on the hands. And if you're just struggling to sit up, that's totally fine. You can maybe try to prop up the butt. Whenever your spine is super rounded, prop up the butt until you can get more mobility through the pelvis. Right. If you're on the hypermobile side of things, then be a little bit more active here, using the glutes to drive the knees down. And if you are just a little bit on the tighter side, then go ahead and basically just lean into the sensation. And you'll do the same thing, pivot to the right. My hands are going to go off screen, but try to reach as far forward as far out to the side as you can, And as I'm reaching forward with my left hand, for example, I'm trying to anchor that left knee down. And then here you'll feel it into the QL, so oblique, kind of like this lower side body position. And then bring the breath there at the lower ribs. Last breath like that. Good. Rotate, oof, to the other side. Let's balance that out. And every time you reach away from yourself, keep anchoring that knee down. 2 more breaths. Last one. Good. Come on up. You can bring the knees together. Good. And then have the hands behind you. Widen the feet about hip width distance. And then let the knees fall side to side, kind of like windshield wiping, as they call it. Next time your knees fall, both knees fall to the right, then stay here. And where you'll feel most of the pressure in this one is most likely in this right hip. And trying to sit back into that left hip for some internal rotation. If your knee is off the ground, as long as it doesn't hurt, otherwise you can put a block underneath it. And what I like to do is place my right foot on top of my left knee. And my first bit is activate downward, so kind of like push the right knee and the right foot down towards the floor. And then from here, actively push your left knee into your right foot. And then release, let it go. Kind of like allow for the pelvis to sink into this position. I like to do this little rocking sometimes. Bodies are really intelligent. It's just, can we listen to it? And the thing with like, especially with modern yoga, for example, a lot of it is based on focus and stillness and not letting the body be distracted. But I don't know. I think opposite. I think it's especially learning about the nervous system and the polyvagal theory. If you need to move, you need to move. It's like as long as it's conscious movement. Release the right foot. Good. Oof. Let's try the other side. Then same thing. Both knees fall to the left. Allow for the pelvis to sit down. So draw the right butt cheek towards the floor, and you'll feel when you go there. There might be some sensations that you're not used to going to because it's internal rotation. And then same thing, left foot on top of the right knee, and then first bit push down. So as you push your right foot and your left foot and your left knee into the floor, you're simultaneously pushing your right butt cheek into the floor. Then push your right knee into your left foot, activating. And then fully relax, let it go, stay here. Okay, and then extend. Let's get into the hamstrings. Both legs straight. Again, prop up the butt if your spine is too rounded. Otherwise, point the toes or demi-point. Don't flex the ankles. Pull onto your sciatic nerve. Then let's start with a straight spine so you can maintain a straight spine for as long as you can. So every time you walk forward, try not to allow for this, but almost as though you're trying to back bend. Keep walking forward as a dragonfly. Keep walking forward. Then at some point, you'll probably get 8 out of 10 for being at your end range. And I think that's a really good place to start to breathe into those tight areas and notice the areas. Like, don't give it attention as in, like, oh, it's hurting. But more so taking note, really tapping into the body as it starts to shift, as you shape shift, and as you get to your end range, kind of like noticing all of these little nuances. For me, for example, I can feel more of my left hamstring and kind of like mid back. There's a little bit more tension. And then breathing in that area, allowing for the fascia to expand a little bit. working with my parasympathetic nervous system, trying to stay calm, rest, digest, and then walk forward again if you get a little bit more space. Last breath here. Good. Come on up. And then from here, you'll go to reclined. So bend the knees and make your way onto your back. Wow, I just heard my back crack. That was great. From here, draw the right knee to your chest. You have the option to keep this left foot onto the floor and the left knee bent. Otherwise, you can extend the leg. Not in the correct position, so I need a little bit more space because my legs are very long. Good. And then from here, I'll just go here because I don't have enough space. And then from here, what you're going to do is release the hands behind the leg. And we're going to get into the hamstrings, but a little bit more active and unilateral work at this point. So what you do is keep the toes pointed and you're going to extend the leg, inhale, and then exhale, bend the knee. Inhale, extend the leg, bend the knee. One more. And really try to lock out without losing the angle of the hip. One more, keep the leg straight. Good, and then from here you might even walk your hand all the way to the ankle. And keep locking the knee. Imagine pushing the back of the knee towards the ceiling. And then release. Try to hold it here. I know it's a lot right there. I like to even rub it sometimes. It kind of helps to release it. Good, and other side. Left knee to your chest. Interlace the hands behind the leg. Then from here, lengthen the leg. Inhale. Then the knee. Exhale. So you're not spending a lot of time at your end range. You can kind of push it a little bit more as you inhale. Then exhale, let it go. Last one, inhale. Good. Stay here. Walk the hands up. Then release the hands. Hold it. Maybe again, bring some blood flow while you stretch it. Good. And then release. Let's get the hips into extension. So allow to feel the heels close-ish to you. You want to be able to at least graze it with your fingers. And then from here, all you're going to do is push down into your arms and lift the pelvis up. You can retract your scapula. And what I'm trying to focus is really engaging the glutes to open up this part of my hips. So I'm using you'll feel the quads, but the quads attached to is one of your hip flexors. So think about pushing your feet in that direction to push the pelvis up. And then big breath here. Keep pushing forward isometrically. This is nice because it also offers a baby back bend. Last one. Good. And exhale, release. Same thing. Figure four this time. Your left foot on top of the right knee. You can use your arms to push down into the floor, and then you really have to push through the heel to get the pelvis up as high as you can. So push down, inhale, lift up. And then as you exhale, squeeze the glutes. Try to push both hips up towards the ceiling. 2 more breaths here. Last one. You should feel that in the deep hip flexors. Last one. Other side, I should say. From here, right foot on top of the left knee. When you're ready, push down into your heel, into your arms, lift up, inhale. Squeeze the glutes, exhale. Both hips up towards the ceiling. 2 more breaths. And last one. Good. Recline. And let's finish off with another one of my favorite poses, toonie twist or any variation of recline twist that you like to do. We're going to follow the knees to the right first, so move the pelvis slightly to the left first, and then the knee draw into the chest, allow them to fall to the right. And this is really nice because the hips end up stacking on top of one another. And eventually you want to have this top knee in the same plane as the bottom knee. Then you'll notice it's going to want to drift the shoulder up. And this is where the magic happens, where you simultaneously, every time you exhale, try to get the shoulder onto the floor. There's both kind of like an activation and a relaxation. Last breath. Good. Come back to neutral. And then let's do the other side. Move the hips slightly to the right. Knees into the chest. Let them fall to the side. And then stacking the right knee on top of the right, on top of the left. And you can even see from this angle my shoulders super up. I'm using the exhale. Try to come down towards the floor. Big breath. Good. Come on back to neutral. And then here you have the option to do any additional shapes that you would like to do. Otherwise, if you have time to even take like a short, super short Shavasana, that would be good. And if you're tight for time, then you can roll yourself up to sit. And that's it for today. Thank you for joining me on this sunrise morning flow yoga practice. And hopefully see you next time.